Uncharted 2 Among Thieves is the second game in the Uncharted series, originally released for the PlayStation 3 and was later released for the PlayStation 4 as a remastered version. Chronologically, Uncharted 2 occurs 2 years after the events of the first Uncharted. In this second adventure, we control Nathan Drake again, but this time we will seek the Stone of Sintamani and Shangri-La. In addition to the return of Sully and Ellen Fisher, we can partially count with 2 more characters, namely Harry Flynn and Chloe Fraser. This time around, the action will unfold in different parts of the globe, greatly increasing the diversity of the scenarios such as ruined citadels, forests, mountains of Tibet, etc. The scenarios are much more dynamic now, with lots of stuff happening all around us. An example of this are the chapters that unfold in a moving train, in which we have to avoid the obstacles, or the chapter in which we have to flee a tank that destroys the scene in its passage. In terms of gameplay, we can count again with a lot of platforming as well as bigger and more enjoyable puzzles. Furthermore, the number of quick-time events has been reduced, the number of weapons increased, and shields are also available for the battles. The levels are now much more vertical, giving us more freedom to choose from where we want to face our enemies. An optional stealth combat mechanic has been introduced, in which we can perform silent killings if we have not been previously detected by the enemy. For those who found the enemies of the first Uncharted very easy to kill, will be well pleased, because some of the enemies of this game are authentic bullet sponges. One of the biggest shortcomings of the first Uncharted was its short longevity, which this time around was increased from 8 hours of gameplay to about 11 hours. In addition, we once again have optional treasures scattered throughout the game's world, which this time are a little more difficult to find. Despite all these improvements, not everything is perfect, and some minor problems are present, such as the more complex scenarios coupled with a less effective system of helping tips results in situations in which we are blocked and without knowing how to progress. It's still difficult to perceive what we can interact with, and sometimes we interact differently on identical surfaces. We also noticed a general increase in the number of glitches found in the game, typically related with the collision detection. In the remastered version released for the PlayStation 4, despite the graphical improvements introduced, we only noticed the differences in side-by-side comparisons. Thus, the greatest improvement of this remastered version was the increase of the number of frames per second from 30 to 60. For all these reasons, Uncharted 2 Among Thieves gets from this review the honorable score of 9.5 out of 10.